Hello, everyone. This is Storm, and welcome back to another video. Today's video will be our Week 4 game reviews. I'm getting this video out a little later than my usual schedule is. We've had a very busy week, very complicated week, very out of the ordinary week in the SADL, and also very complicated in my personal life. Obviously, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, we had not one but two matches that were not played on Sunday. They had to be one of them was played on Monday, and one of them was not played due to the fact that Phil, coach of the Wiltshire War Turtles, he was basically no call, no show. Found out today actually though that he had been spent some time in the hospital and was recovering. So it's good to hear from him. But basically, he didn't show up for his matches, obviously because of that situation. And so we the match was declared a forfeit. It was supposed to be between him and Vanny, coach of the Diamond Defenders. That match was a forfeit that was awarded to Vanny. And after a while, we weren't sure because, like I said, we had no contact with Phil. So this week, we actually have a brand new coach and a brand new team. We had to move on from Phil after a couple of days because we didn't know what was happening. So you'll see a new team next week. Uh, it'll be the New Jersey Jinx, coached by Brady. Basically, he's going to inherit Phil's record and differential and all that stuff, as well as his team. And he's made some of his own changes. So you will see him next week for uh, the Week 5 review. He'll play his first match this week coming up. So that being said, that's kind of an update on the status of the league. Um, so yeah, we'll get into it. We only have 5 matches this week, so let's just get straight into it. First match here is Bernie, coach of the Safari Rhyhorns, versus Tanner, coach of the Chicago Toros. Um, Tanner looking for his first win of the season. So we see a lead here with the good lead here by Tanner, obviously leading the Rotom into the Mammoth Swine. That's a great lead. Rotom does well into Mammoth Swine, very obviously. And we see him go for the Will-O-Wisp, and it unfortunately misses. This is a very unfortunate Will-O-Wisp miss. Getting this burn on Ogerpon would have been huge. So he decides to go for it again, and we see Bernie switching to Hydreigon, and he misses another one. Also, the Rotom does reveal that it's Blunder Policy, and he misses two. These two Will-O-Wisp misses are very unfortunate, and I really do think that I don't want to say that they would cost the game, but they definitely have a very negative impact on this game. We see a Smart switch out in a Grimmsnarl, and then we see a substitute by the Hydreigon. Obviously, the Grimmsnarl handles the Hydreigon very well. Now, this play right here, this was a terrible play, really truthfully. Setting up in front of something that a substitute is something you should never do unless you know you can beat it, right? Now, obviously, I do know that Tanner was more than likely expecting this Hydreigon to be dual stab, and obviously Grimmsnarl can deal with dual stab on Hydreigon very well. It's immune to the dragon. It resists Dark ×4. But more than likely, this Hydreigon, because it is draft league, is going to be able to hit this Grimmsnarl. Hydreigon knows Flash Cannon, and Earth Power, Fire Move, something like that. So setting up in front of it is not a good play. You either go for Fairy Move or, as we're actually about to see the Earth Power does come out, Drain Punch. If you Drain Punches twice, this is a very different scenario you're in. You might lose Grimmsnarl, but hey. Smart Switch into Rotom Wash, though, predicting the Earth Power to come back out because obviously it wouldn't, Dark Move or Dragon would be able to do enough. But it substitutes because the Rotom can't touch it. Rotom reveals to have Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is resisted. It's not going to break. At this point, this Rotom should have been trying to go for either a Hydro Pump or an Electric move because it's going to do more damage to the Hydreigon. Because basically, this Hydreigon gets to +4. Dark Pulse will take out the Rotom. Bisharp comes in. Terra Fairies very smartly to avoid the Earth Power damage. Terra Blast to break the sub. Obviously, Hydreigon Terra. So now we have basically Hydreigon is kind of starting to go on rampage. See the Grimmsnarl come back out, but of course, because you notice the HP, that's not the Grimmsnarl. That was the uh, Zoroark disguise. U-turn does good chip, but we see the Grimmsnarl act. Then we see Landers come out, shows that it's faster. Sludge Wave does not kill. I understand not wanting to run Focus Blast, and I don't necessarily think Focus Blast is like phenomenal into Bernie's team, but obviously a Focus Blast there would have been nice. Sludge Wave is not able to pick it up. This is where that burn would have came into play. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to say like, oh, it cost Tanner the game just having the burn, but it's a very negative impact not having that burn there because his Hydreigon would be dead right now, and at least Tanner would be able to have a 5v3. It'd be a more manageable match, but it's going to cost him a lot to kill. We see the Volcarona come out disguised as Zoroark disguised as Volcarona. We see Volcarona come back out. This is the real Volcarona. Earthquake does a lot. Fiery Dance does not kill because this Mamoswine is thick fat. It's very interesting actually to see this Mamoswine is faster. That's Tanner. Listen to this. That shouldn't happen. Actually, because that throws away your chance of the game. Because I feel like uh, your play, really and truly, I think, if you know you're slower, you should. This is like something that has to happen in prep. If you know you're going to be slower, you should probably Quiver Dance that turn and Giga Drain the next turn to regain the HP. It probably doesn't matter that much. It might not kill the Mamoswine, and it might not heal you enough. I'm not sure. I don't know the calcs, but that would have been a better play if you know you're slower. You didn't know you were slower, which means you need to make yourself or you need to make your Volcarona faster than this Mamoswine, because this Mamoswine should probably be dead. But it's not. We see Zora come out, and Flamethrower is unable to pick it up, so differential will not favor. This is thick fat, by the way, so unfortunate there to see the Flamethrower come out. Dark Pulse kills this Mamoswine, I'm pretty sure, because, yeah, it does more than Flamethrower does. So, obviously, uh, that's not something else you need to be aware of. The Mamoswine probably was thick fat because of how little damage it took from Fiery Dance. Calc that, find it out. Obviously, it doesn't affect the end result of the match, but differential is really the main reason. If that's a kill, then differential is a little bit better. But anyways, we see a 5-0 victory from Bernie. Advances to 3-1. Tanner will remain winless on the season. Next match, Board Attic of the Minnesota Glow Kings versus Manny of the New York Munchlax. Manny, both these teams are 2-1. Board Attic trying to bounce back from his first loss of the season. So we'll see how this goes here. Two very good teams, two teams I expect to be in the playoffs, to be honest. Wrote them into the well. That's just hey, that's a great that's just a read you I don't say you have to make, but if he doesn't protect there, then you get the burn and obviously you shut down this Gliscor. But we see the protect. Overy comes out, does a lot, but does not do anywhere enough to kill. Spikes get up. Then we see him go for overheat again, and he gets a crit. It's a big crit, big swing in Mandy's favor. Yeah, tough crit. Dark. We see the Dark Pulse come out. Dark Pulse come out from the Chi-Yu. Rotom is able to live it, and we see a Volt switch. Little damage. Chi-Yu, I believe, is Assault Vest. Tinglu comes in. Tinglu's obviously great switching for this this Chi-Yu. Uses the force pressure to get spikes up. Goes in a Rotom Heat. Very interesting to see this knockoff come out. I imagine maybe it was for. He has no ghost types, so very interesting to see that knockoff come out. Obviously, it gets rid of Rotom. Does chip the Rotom. I think Rapid Spin there is 100% the play because basically, you're going to be faster than whatever comes in. You can kill this Rotom basically right here. Right, you Rapid Spin, get the chip, probably does the 12% that is needed for knockoff to finish it off. Also gets rid of the spikes. We see spike chips, obviously, is going to hit Chi-Yu. Nice pain split. Very, very, very good play by Manny, realizing that if his opponent did not try to kill him, and he probably knew he was faster than the Serena anyways, probably EV to be faster. But, pain split is a great play. Singaloo comes out, takes absolutely nothing from this Dark Pulse. Obviously threatens Chi with Earthquake, so we're probably going to see a switch. It's very smart Whirlwind. Brings the Chi-Yu back out. And then we see him go for the Flamethrower. I kind of like this bold play, though, here by Board Addict because he saw that he was whirlwinding and he had spikes. Obviously, this Tinglu more than likely has Earthquake or something to kill this Chi-Yu, but not wanting to risk switching and getting a Whirlwind or letting up free spikes, very smart Flamethrower here, just to get more chip. But then he follows it up by switching and hitting Whirlwind back out. Uh, then we see an attempted setup. You can't set up in front of something that's trying to Whirlwind you. So you see a Whirlwind, that's just an unnecessary play. Serena gets back out off the Whirlwind, so it can rapid spin away. See a little Ruination, which is great. Keep the Serena low. Fearing Grass move, we see the Rotom come out, but it takes too much from Power Whip. U-turn. This is an interesting play. I don't know if this was he was expecting a switch or he was just trying to reposition himself. It's very interesting to see him not go for the Power Whip because, and if he misses it, he dies. So at the end of the day, maybe the U-turn just to preserve the Serena. But we do see him go out to the Chi-Yu to eat the Overheat, which is a great play because it takes absolutely nothing, and Chi-Yu will not be able to kill the Rotom, unfortunately, because once again, Tingle is way too healthy. I would have loved to have actually seen, I believe this, I don't remember this set. I think it might have been Dark Pulse Flamethrower, another fire move, Psychic. I would have loved to have seen Ruination on this Chi-Yu. I think that would have been a great move to run since it's not choiced, and it's Assault Vest, so it can't run Nasty Plot. I would have loved to have seen a Ruination on the Chi-Yu to help wear down Tinglu. And even like something like a Namorous, who's very, very bulky. I think that would have been great. See, Flamethrower does a decent amount. Earthquake, though, will unfortunately finish it off. I would have loved, so we see he goes for the Dark Pulse here as well. I kind of was talking a little bit, wasn't paying attention to this play. We see him go for the Dark Pulse here. Flamethrower 100% kills Rotom at 9% HP. Like, it has to. I doubt that does not. I would have loved to have seen the double flamethrower because I think the way that the damage rolls would have worked, this Tinglu might not have lived that second flamethrower. Let me see actually how much health did this play right here. Okay, never mind. It probably would have. Yeah. Okay. So, but anyways, just to chip the Tinglu down more, it's very bulky. It's lasted a very long time. Gotten a lot of chip here. Really doing great. We see the smart Metagross switch in, but we see a U-turn. Going to the Scissor, doesn't feel the Fear Steel moves. We see another U-turn. Big chip on the Metagross. Nice switch to the Earthquake. And we see knockoff finish off the Metagross. That was great by Board at it. Great place to kind of help him min-max that, or not necessarily min-max, but optimize that situation where he could get chip, take as little damage as possible on his team, and get a kill that he desperately needs. Obviously, he's going to shack. No good switches to this Chin Pal. Sacks is Serena. We see the Scissor come out to threaten with Bullet Punch. We see the Rotom finally get thrown away. So cutting into this lead a little bit more. See the Enamorous come out. This was max HP, max defense Enamorous. It always lives Bullet Punch. Cannot kill ever with Bandit. Adamant Bandit Bullet Punch never kills this. So great prep here done by Manny. Mystical Fire to pick up the kill. And obviously, there's not really much that could have been done about that. If you go into Regidrago, well, Regidrago is probably the best play, should I say. Obviously, going into Raikou, you get a special attack and drop. But Terra Steel here, and great prediction by Manny. He gets the Earth Power, but he does get a crit. I do not think without the crit that kills, because this is a non-invested Namorous. Thunderbolt here from the Raikou. So a little bit of luck. Manny's played this great. Don't get me wrong. Manny has played phenomenal, but definitely a little bit of luck in this matchup because we've seen how effective the crit onto the Regidrago was. The crit on the Gliscor. It's cost Bordak a lot of mods. And Bordak does lose to, yes, he has misplayed a little bit, obviously. Chin Pao comes in, cleans it up. Here we go. But so 3-0 victory for Manny. Board Addict now is 500, and Manny will remain one loss, being 3-1. So moving to our third match, we have our co-commissioner Fiery Vortex here versus coach of the Dewey Duats versus War Master, who is the coach of the King City Kingdras. So we'll just hop into this match. So everything's going. Eventually, we see sticky webs coming out from potential sticky webs, and it is sticky webs. Trading hazards, get the toxic spikes off. Bug Buzz is a decent chunk, and it gets a special defense drop. on the second Toxic Spikes. I like the switch to the Gouging Fire to try to capitalize on potential electric move. Well, I mean, it pretty much walls Galvantula. This Galvantula cannot Terra. Um, so I like that switch there because even though he does Volt Switch, he doesn't do a lot. Obviously, momentum is good. That's a very smart Volt Switch. So it's probably the best play to make that situation. Um, but anyways, the Gouging Fire reveals that it is Scarf because it is faster at -1 than the Baxcalibur, but it does not kill, and Baxcalibur does. Overcool comes back, gets the -1. We will see switch to the Galvantula here. Basically, it's done its job, so it's this sort of a sack. Not really needed. Absorbs a crunch. Gets Thunder off for big damage. Overcool reveals that's actually Citrus and shows off the liquidation. I assume. Actually, I don't know why the liquidation came out. Doesn't hit anything on Vortex's team. Crunch hits Skeledirge harder than liquidation ever will because it's stab. So very weird to see that liquidation come out. But either way, kind of a mute point. Glaive Rush is able to pick up the kill. I don't think that crit mattered. The Kilowattrel comes out, kills with Air Slash. Very risky once in this Air Slash, these Air Slash plays. I get wanting to preserve Terra for the surprise, but I very risky going for that Air Slash. But nonetheless, it gets the kill. We'll see the Latios come out because it turns out it's Scarf and smart play. This is where preserving the Terra did matter, obviously. Being able to disguise it and getting this Terra Fairy off. I knew this was Terra Fairy. Like I was watching this match live and I was like, this is Terra Fairy and he's gonna Draco it, and he did. Um, So, unfortunately, Terra Blast is a decent chunk, but not enough to kill Latios. Smart switch into the Magnezone. Kilowattrel basically can't touch it. Resist both Fairy and Electric moves, and resist Flying type moves by ×4. Has a Steel threat coverage, so nice switching to preserve that Latios. Flash Cannon comes out, does a decent chunk to Zarude. Now, I'm not really sure. I can't remember off the top of my head what the Zarude set was. If it had close combat, this 100% should have been a close combat because that knockoff did a bunch to this Magnezone. Close combat, I would guess more than likely kills. But we see or if it doesn't kill, it at least weakens Magnezone a lot more because if you're going to knock off, you're going to die the next turn to Flash Cannon. We see the Dugtrio switch in though. The Samurott switch is basically, I guess Samurott kind of has the least amount of value left on this team. It's not faster than the Kilowattrel, and obviously Electric moves threaten it. And Cinccino, you probably can kill Cinccino, but we're not too worried about Cinccino. So absorbs the Earthquake, eats it pretty well, and shows that it is faster than the Dugtrio, but Dugtrio is sashed. So just a decent trade there. No, nothing of note coming out from that Samurott. We see the Latios being able to flip turn out, get the kill. Brings in Magno. This is great positioning by Vortex. I will say this is great positioning because if he Psychic moves, obviously he doesn't want to Dragon moves. He's a Fairy type. If he Psychic moves the Dugtrio, it will kill it. But Cinccino comes in. I don't know if Cinccino lives. Would be Modest Luster Purge. I don't know if it lives that. Kilowattrel, as you'll see later in the video, does live it. Cinccino might because it has similar bulk. So obviously that's a smart position because Magnezone obviously deals with both Kilowattrel and Cinccino. Very smart position. We see Rock Blast come out. Cinccino, I more than likely it doesn't get very many or have any moves that can hit this this Magnezone. So we see a Volt Switch once again getting momentum, and we see the Latios come out because it is faster and can kill with Luster Purge. Kilowattrel comes out. Luster Purge does not kill, but we see a Thunder Wave come out, and I don't know if he was basically expecting a switch into or not Thunder Wave, Discharge. I don't know if he was expecting a switch to go into the Skeledirge, maybe to preserve the Latios, fearing the Terra Blast. But I would have rather have seen the Terra Blast come out. I don't know how this Kilowattrel more than likely doesn't kill the Skeledirge, doesn't 1v1 the Skeledirge in this situation. So it probably doesn't matter, but once again, we're talking about differential here. And obviously, a 2-0 is going to be better than a 3-0. So I would have loved to have seen the the Terra Blast come out to finish off the Latios. Obviously, I get you trying to make the play, but if you misread that play, you end up in the same situation. So either way, Latios will clean up here, get another kill. 3-0 in Vortex's favor. He will remain undefeated on the season. So, fourth match, we have Yeehaw, Ha Yi, coach of the House of Mouse, versus Club, coach of the Cerulean Guardians. Club, one another person looking for his first win. See the Garchomp lead come out, gets up rocks, not fearing this Mothra, this Slitherwing at all. We see these switcheroos. Very interesting set for this Greninja. We see switcheroo on the Swords Dance. It's kind of an insane stay in, really. By I guess the reason we see the switcheroo is because I expect Yeehaw was probably expecting a force switch because of potential Ice Beam, and he doesn't. But it turns out working out in his favor because we see the Swords Dance come out. Going to the Venusaur. Hold on. Let me replay this real quick. So yeah, it goes to the Venusaur, but we see a switch into the Cryogonal. So obviously this is not good. Venusaur will switch out, and this will give a free Rapid Spin. Smart switch here. I actually like this switch into the Garchomp. This is a very smart play by Club because he's expecting the Rapid Spin to come out. Like obviously Ice Move is there, but he says, well, if I eat Ice Move, I'm gonna need Ice Move either way. If he rapid spins, then Garchomp can get some chip, and we see that the Rough Skin chip obviously doesn't have its Rock Helm anymore. Freeze Dry does not kill, and Rock stay up. And we see a smart switch right here into this. He could have easily have stayed in, eaten another rapid spin, and gotten more chip off, which I think that would have been a good play as well. But he goes out smartly on the rapid spin into a Pokemon that's very threatening. And we see the Terrifier. Rain Dance comes out. This is crazy. I think this was pretty good prep, I imagine, by Yeehaw trying to take advantage of how threatening this Charizard has been. Charizard has kind of been the most important Pokemon for Club in this league. It's done a lot really. So it barely hangs on. Obviously, rain is in effect. -2. This overheat still does a lot. I'm surprised it did that much. Anyways, see a switch into the Garchomp. That's actually Venusaur. Eats up this Weather Ball. Does a decent chunk, but leftovers will keep it healthy. Fearing Grass move. We see a now. Okay, so I know Club obviously is fairly new to Mons, so I don't know. Solar Beam obviously takes time to charge. The only time it doesn't charge is in Sun. So there's no Sun up. Also, Solar Beam's power is halved in rain. So even if you do get the Solar Beam off, it's going to do absolutely nothing. So this is not a good play at all. Uh, Venusaur takes a decent chunk from Leech Life. Solar Beam comes out, does pretty much absolutely nothing. Rain goes away. We see a switch into the Charizard on a U-turn, though, unfortunately, so this will give momentum, and we see the Grin come out. It's obviously faster. Smart switch, though, going into the Regieleki. It's able to live a hit and threaten something with electric move. We don't see any ground type on Yeehaw's side, so something's going to eat this electric move. We see it's a Volt switch. Good getting the initiative. Oh, wait, no, Charizard did leave. I forgot. I thought Charizard died here. Great overheat. The Charizard living. And unfortunately, though, Ice Shard coming out from the good tech here with the Ice Shard coming out and picking off the Charizard. And then we see a Garchomp go down. And unfortunately, Club did not know that Ice Shard is not contact, so it could not proc the Rough Skin. That was a good play. In Club's mind, that was a good play, but obviously it didn't work out. So unfortunate there. The Cryogonal will stay alive. See a rapid spin here to get a speed boost and an earthquake. I don't know if you know this, Club. Bug types resist. This is first off this Pokemon Slitherwing is not like Volcarona. It's not bug fire, which obviously water type would have done more. A water type attack would have done more anyways. But this thing is bug fighting and bug resist ground. So Earthquake doesn't do a lot. Wild Charge does a chunk, but it weakens it enough to where It can easily revenge kill. Flip turn here to get momentum and the kill. It's a pretty close match here. We see the Venusaur come back out. Obviously, he's very healthy. Slitherwing comes out. First impression, though, is enough to take out. But this is a trade, obviously, here. Regieleki, Thunder Cage, even with a crit, does pretty much nothing. You turn here onto the Blastoise after the red card. Knockoff finishes off the Blastoise. Regieleki comes out fat. The only thing faster, and the explosion into the sash. Unfortunately, all that sacrifice for nothing. Mew comes in, takes absolutely nothing from this knockoff, and is basically forced to a position where it would have to try to 1v3. And we do see the Ice Beam. Unfortunately, this Ice Beam does freeze. I don't know if Mew could have won from this spot, but it's very possible if it were not for that Ice Beam. More than likely, I imagine Club probably goes for a Giga Drain. I don't know how much he regens for, but it's very possible a Psychic could have killed, and there's still a possibility that at 59%, the Pheasant Dippity might have also died to a Psychic move. I'm not really sure. I'd have run the calcs on the sets and whatnot. So it's unfortunate. The Ice Beam freeze kind of ended that match, maybe earlier than it did, but nonetheless a good match right there. Very down to the wire. Very good plays from both players. Club will remain winless, unfortunately. Yeehaw moves to 3-1. So, very last match. This match was played on Monday. Last match of the week. There's obviously not a sixth match, and this will be St. Wumples, coach of the Anchorage Bear Takes, versus our other co-commissioner, It's Titan HD, coach of the Turin Trevenants. So, let's just get this last match out of the way. See a Toad Scroll into a Diancie. Spore here, that's just a great, take advantage of it, and Toxic Spikes go up. Now, right here, we see, obviously this Fortress is in. More than likely, it's going to Rapid Spin, it's going to get up Hazards. This Zamazinta switch is not, this should basically never happen. Only fire move that Zamazinta gets, I believe, is Fire Fang. So, and this Zamazinta does not have Fire Fang. So, obviously, Trevenant is the best play here. It blocks Rapid Spin, and this Trevenant, I think, is Subsea Trevenant. So, this is a chance to set up on this Fortress. But Rapid Spins, and then he goes for the close combat, which doesn't make any sense. I don't even know necessarily why Wumple switched. I mean, I guess maybe Fortress doesn't do anything. But we do see this close combat to the Petron, and obviously it does nothing. So, force a switch. We see a Toadstool come out. And it mainly comes out to try and get a knockoff. But Cobra Berry is there. Malignant Chain does a shit ton, and we do see a poison. And this is basically these turns of plays. They're not going to work out very well. These are just all very bad misplays, right? The correct answer in this Petron, really need to go out into Empoleon. Obviously, the Petron has a light screen up, so Empoleon can't damage it very well. I think it has Roar though, so I would have liked to have seen the Empoleon come out, but instead we're going to see the Toadscroll, and this is the only Rapid Spinner. Dies to Hex. There's nothing it can do in this situation. We do see the Roaring Moon come out, and like I said, Empoleon should have came out. Roaring Moon obviously has super effective knockoff, but this thing isn't holding an item. It consumed it. And we see another Malignant Chain Toxic. I will say this is very lucky for Mumples. I've barely ever seen Malignant Chain Toxic ever, and he's got it twice in this match. But we see a Toxic Infusion, however, though, breaks out, kills with knockoff. So the Petron is finally down. We're even with a 5-5. Fortress comes back out. We see the Zamazinta again. I don't, like I said, obviously Tiger Spikes are free now. You can't do anything to it. We see a crunch. I don't know what the I don't know what the crunch was for. Now there's no more ghost types. But he's locked into the crunch. I guess try to get the defense drop. Just keeps crunching. Toxic Spikes, rocks go up. Goes into the Roaring Moon, and we see the Diancie switch in. We will see a Terra Fighting reading the Ironhead. We've seen the Ironhead come out of this Roaring Moon before. It will die to poison. Trevenant comes out. Unfortunately, gets toxic. And, there's no spinner, unfortunately. Leech Seed, though, on the lead sheet on the reflect. Uh, and then we try to see I believe this is a will-o-wisp on this play. Yep. And then the ogre pawn. So ogre pawn kind of walls. This thing wants the will-o-wisp and leech seed. It does have poltergeist. So I love, obviously the correct play is there to poltergeist on the ogre pawn. But unfortunately that's not the play that is made. Empoleon finally comes out. A smart SD. Uh, See a horn leech here, and like I said, yeah, reveals that this thing is roar. This thing should have came out on the Petron ages ago. Um, Roars away the ogre pawn though. A lot of chip. We see a switch to the Zamazenta. Uh, this actually winds up being a smart play. I would have loved to have seen this Empoleon roosted though to keep itself healthy. Zamazenta comes in though. See the light screen go up, and we will see Psychic Fangs come out. Gets big damage onto the Diancie as well as breaking the screen. So that's a very smart play here. Unfortunately, though, we see the Moonblast take a big chunk out of it, and Hoopa comes in is immune to Psychic Fangs. Obviously, there's nothing you can do in this situation because you die as soon as you come back in, anyways. Then the Empoleon comes out, an unnecessary focus blast, but it does kill the Empoleon, and game's just kind of downhill from here. There's just way too much stacked against Titan. Too many misplays early on. Cost him way too many Pokemon. Let's see the Throat Spray, Hyper Voice. Hornleech does a shit ton. Heals the Ogrepon up to full. Psychic can't even kill it. Dive the next turn to a Hornleech. And then he will be able to Ivy Cudgel the Trevenant. And that pretty much is game. Very unfortunate series of misplays that happened a lot in this match on the side of Titan. Um, Trying to rely on that Zamazenta to break the fortress just isn't. It's never going to happen, especially because the fortress does not have Fire Fangs. So it is what it is, though. We have all of our winless teams have remained winless. We see a few teams kind of get to 500. A lot of our 3-1 teams, our 2-1 teams have now advanced to 3-1 teams. So a lot of records haven't changed really that much necessarily in the sense of like, one loss teams are still one loss. Undefeated teams are still undefeated. Winless teams are still winless. We had a few teams, obviously, like I said, that have improved their records. But that is the week 4 matches. Only 5 of them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Got this video out a lot later than I wanted to. And if any of my coaches have made it this far, I know a lot of y'all don't watch the full video. I'm perfectly fine with that. But if any of y'all have made it this far, I'm gonna let y'all know y'all ain't shit. Okay? Vanny and Tanner are the only 2 coaches in Pick'ems who bet on me to win my match. Everybody else, including my own co-commissioner, voted for me to lose. Y'all ain't shit. Obviously, I mean that's a joke, but I'm glad I was able to prove y'all wrong because y'all really had me losing that match, and I came out on top. Nonetheless, this is the final video, I guess you could say, for week 4. The next video will come out will be my week 5 match. So I will look forward to seeing y'all then. Hopefully we can remain undefeated. Until then, guys, though, be safe. And be nice, right? We're all humans. So, goodbye.